Guys, thank you so much for being here. It just kind of feels like every couple of months I'm doing these videos because it just seems like every couple of months there's a whole bunch of new trends that we have to cover. So let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me again. Today's video is brought to you by Lily Silk. You know, I want to tell you guys something. When I was in my 20s, I distinctly remember reading a blog post about the importance of sleeping on silk sheets, especially like silk pillowcases for your skin, for your hair, anti-aging, and that never left me. That stuck with me all these years, and I knew that eventually I would cave in and get myself some satin bed sheets and pillowcases to protect my skin and hair. I really didn't realize how important it is when you're sleeping to have that extra protection for your face. Now, I've heard of Lily Silk many times. They have a good reputation. I knew they did like luxury bedding and silk bedding, but I had no idea that they did clothing as well. Blouses, pajamas, all kinds of quality silk products that I was just blown away about. This blouse that I'm wearing today is Lily Silk and I absolutely love it. If you've been with me for a while, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have a sense of my vibe and my aesthetic, and this is just very much my style for so many reasons. I mean, look at the way that I can style this. There's so much you can do with a white blouse. I love that it's silk and shiny. It just adds to that classy, sophisticated vibe, and I love that you can style this super casual or super glam or really funky and fashionable. So this is mulberry silk, and not only is it, you know, good for your skin and hair because it's so smooth and it's gentle for you, it's also breathable, antibacterial, and sleep promoting, which is very important. And I had no idea that it promotes better sleep, because that is something that is so important to all of us. Sleep is so important for us functioning every day of our lives. So if you want to learn more about that, I will leave a link down below, as well as a discount code for you to buy anything you see here or anything you want on lilysilk.com. All right, let's talk all the newest, latest trends right now. So the first trend that we've been seeing for at least a season already, but it's just getting like just crazy in every aspect of footwear, is the lug shoe. So we saw it in the winter with the lug boots. Prada and Bottega were heavy contenders on the fashion scene with their lug boots. They took off, and then of course we saw many knockoffs, and they just went gangbusters, super popular. We've talked about that a lot. And then we also talked about the lug sandal, which, you know, mixed reviews on that. But according to my Instagram polls, more negative than positive. Most of you guys were not feeling the lug sandals. And now for fall, we're seeing the lug shoe, like 90s footwear on steroids. And I just really don't know how I feel about them. It just, all I see here is 90s. You say I only hear what I want to. Does anyone know who Lisa Loeb is? I didn't even know. I mean, I know that song because it's like from all the movies of my childhood. But like, I've been listening to 90s on 9 on satellite radio, and I keep hearing Lisa Loeb. How good is that song? That's the song that I hear when I see these shoes. Just amazing. Now, I don't know how I feel about them because I think they could be cool if they're styled correctly. But the thing about them is that they're very trendy right now. They're very much a fad. They don't have long-lasting power. They're not going to be, you know, super fashionable in a few years from now. They're going to be a season or two, maybe 3, until they really die down, and then they become super dated and old news. I've said this so many times, like, we are going to look back at this era of fashion and just really ask ourselves, why? Like, these are hype beast kind of things where people just want to be on the newest and the latest, even if they don't necessarily love the vibe. That's the direction that a lot of fashion is going in, just like weird, outlandish, crazy things. In the 90s, it was more like the low Doc Martens with like a pulled up sock, but now we're just taking it crazy far, like a lug, huge thick sole, very 90s, but like 2020 weird fashion, kind of to match with the weird year that is 2020. But like, I'm not actually bashing the vibe. I kind of like it, and I think they could be styled very well. but there are a lot of things in 2020 fashion that are absolutely absurd. And I think that people will just wear anything at this point just to let you know that they are up on the trend. And maybe you're not. The next trend I'm seeing a lot, and we will be seeing this in fall, is the leather jumpsuit trend. Now, for my holiday lookbook, end of 2019, so like Christmas time holiday lookbook, I showed you that because, you know, I was already loving that vibe. I think it's going to gain a lot of popularity. You're going to see it a lot. And the way that I styled it was I actually had two pieces that were, you know, leather style from Zara. So like leather style joggers with a leather style puffy sleeve button up top, and I put my Saint Laurent waist pouch with it, and I thought it was an amazing outfit, and actually my matching Saint Laurent logo boots. Sick. The outfit, in my opinion, was awesome. I loved it. I felt really good in it. I've worn it out. I wanted to create that vibe of like a leather jumpsuit, and that's exactly what is happening right now. Designers are just making one-piece jumpsuits, and what I love about this trend is that this is truly effortless. I mean, you can just belt it and go. It's just like put it on and go, or don't belt it, because it's all about like deconstructed, almost ill-fitting clothes right now, you know, with like the crazy baggy jeans and like running shoes, so it just almost looks so sloppy that it's fashionable. I personally absolutely love that vibe. And also, you know, some days when I have somewhere to go and I really don't have anything to wear, it's just like a no-brainer. You just throw it on. And also, another thing about these is that for me, I'm only speaking about my personal experience, is that I have gained a few pounds this year. Probably because of quarantine, but I have no one to blame but myself. I'm eating a lot and, you know, I'm kind of just enjoying it. And yes, I am gaining a little bit of weight, but it's kind of like so easy when you're feeling a little bit bloated or just like heavier than normal. The jumpsuit has your back. It doesn't show anything. And usually a jumpsuit is not form-fitting, so you still have a few inches of give. And so I think that this is just so brilliant and very much up my alley. Number 3 on this list is going to go to actually not a trend in general, but an actual designer, a print, the Marine Serre moon print. I hope I'm pronouncing the designer properly, but this is something that we've been seeing since 2019. At least I've been seeing it for sure since 2019, growing heavily, and now we're going to see it a lot more. And that's because Beyonce just wore it in her video, Black is King, and it's just gonna blow up. I just have a huge feeling that it's just gonna get even more and more popular. I mean, it already has gained a lot of popularity. The thing about this is that there's absolutely nothing wrong with this print. It's really cool. I just feel like a lot of the people that wear it and have it and photograph themselves in it is just, like I said, so that they can let you know that they are up on the latest trend. Like, I just wonder with so many people, like, do you actually love what you're wearing, or is it only to flex on the public? I just feel like so much fashion right now is geared towards that, you know? It's just like, this is trending, we're gonna make this trending, and then there's like so many fashion followers that are like, I need that, take a picture for the gram, put me on the gram, Instagram. And not all people do this. Obviously, not all people do this. There's always the fashion people that just generally gravitate towards something and they kind of lead the way. But there's just a lot of people that pick up things just because it's just to flex. It's just to flex. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that designer and that pattern, and even knockoffs of it and dupes of it going forward fall, winter. The next trend is a handbag trend that I've been seeing for a while, and that is vanity cases as purses. Chanel's been doing this for a little while, and I kind of like it, and I don't always love everything that Chanel does. I mean, you guys know I love Chanel, but I don't love everything that Chanel does. But this, I really do love, because I think that it's very vintage looking in a modern way. I think the vanity cases have a very vintage vibe that is ultimately very modern, if that makes sense. And we've seen Louis Vuitton starting to do this too. Actually, Louis Vuitton has kind of always done this. I mean, they have their vanity pouches, that like girls wear as clutches. And then they also have the little 90s pouch that was called the cosmetic pouch that came on the chain that girls used to wear, and now they've brought it back. And it was called a cosmetic pouch, but it was always worn as a little purse. So Louis Vuitton's kind of always done this. I'm not sure if Chanel has always done this. I think we're gonna see a lot of designers get in on this trend because it's just a very, like I said, just like a modern take on a handbag. I think a lot of people are gonna gravitate to it, but not everyone can afford Chanel and Louis Vuitton. So I think there's gonna be a lot of different variations of this, different price ranges, different designers. And this is a trend that I really love. And I'd love to hear your opinion on this because I can't see that everyone would love this trend. I mean, it really does look like a vanity case. I think that they are making them to be worn as purses nowadays, especially Chanel. Like I've seen some that come on the chain. So while they do have that vanity case aesthetic, they really are made to be worn like purses. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think about these. I personally love them. Next is gonna go to old school structured hobos, like the old school style hobos, like for example, the Gucci Jackie bag. I just have a huge feeling that Gucci is bringing, actually I think they already brought it back, but I think it's gonna become really popular again. I think the Gucci Jackie is gonna be like a big trend this year. And you know, I did not even know what this bag was called. When I wanted to make this video, I was like, I wanna talk about these purses that I really feel like are gaining so much popularity. And I had to Google like Gucci hobo, structured hobo, all these things. And then the Jackie came up and I'm like, yep, that's the exact bag that I had in my head. I think this like old school shape of bag is gonna come back, whether it's soft or structured. It's kind of more like that shape, that early 2000s, late 90s shape. Like that was the vibe. Clueless, like think of all these 90s movies where they had those little, you know, like the armpit bags, but like a little bit bigger than the little Prada armpit bag or the little Louis Vuitton cosmetic pouch that I just talked about. But still like that 90s vibe armpit bag, that's what I call them because that's what they are. They're just like right there. I think a lot of, like I said, a lot of designers are going to do this. And the way I feel about this bag is like I would totally buy this bag if I could find it in pristine condition on the resale market from like the old school, actual early 2000s Gucci bag. Like that's what I would want. But like new and pristine, because that's how I like to find my pre-owned stuff. I wouldn't want to spend like $1,500 to $2,000 on a new bag like this, because it's not a bag that's totally so much my style, but it's a bag that I like for nostalgic reasons, and like I love 90s style. I absolutely do, and I think that I could style this bag in some really cool ways. So for that reason, I really do like it, and the only way I would buy it is if I found a really good deal on the resale market. Next on this list is going to go to Birkenstock style high fashion shoes. Like if I am gonna spend $1,500 to $2,000 on a pair of Birkenstock style comfortable fashion shoes, I'm just gonna get the Birkenstocks, because if they're making them to look like Birkenstocks, why don't I just spend $150 and be in style? I mean, like, I actually wear Birkenstocks, which I know might be surprising for you. But the truth is, I have like grandmother feet, like Sefta, Abuela, granny feet, because of all the years that I've worn high heels. Now, when I'm walking and doing things day to day, I need to be comfortable. Like, I mean, I guess I'm just mom life, you know, I need comfort. And, you know, because I wear so many uncomfortable shoes at night, when I'm like running around doing errands, I want to be comfortable and I want to wear healthy shoes for my feet. But that's off topic, okay? We are seeing so many fashion brands doing this Birkenstock style shoe and also the Teva style shoe. So let's talk about the Teva. So this is like a 2-in-1 where it's not only the Birkenstock, the Tevas. Now, when I was a kid, it was all about the Tevas, but like not on a fashion vibe level. It was all about the Tevas, like that's what your mom put you in because it was good for your feet. It was, you know, like water resistant, comfortable, going to summer camp and you got some Tevas. But like, I remember, I swear to God, it was like a few years ago, reading or seeing something where they said, you know, these are going to come back, the Tevas. And I was like, no. Like, absolutely, absolutely no. Okay? It's a no. But man, I have seen some beautiful interpretations of this vibe, and I am shocked. I admit it. I am shocked. I have seen like beautiful ones with like extra fabric, extra details. Like, I don't know if they're actually made for like wearing, you know, on, you know, wet, rocky terrain, which is what I think Tevas are for, but they're cute, they're fashionable. And in terms of the Birkenstock sandals, like, what I always say is that I'm not going to spend up to $2,000, you know, to look like I'm wearing something, but just like with the label on it. But like the Chanel shoes we discussed a few videos ago, I mean, nobody's buying that without the CCs on them. Nobody is buying them without the CCs on them. Number 7, last but certainly not least, in fact, maybe should have been the top of this list, vintage fashion. Vintage fashion is gaining so much popularity. Look, this is not anything new. There have always been people that shopped vintage. There have always been people that shop pre-owned. There's a lot of YouTubers, including myself, that talk about their amazing finds shopping vintage and pre-owned, because not all pre-owned is vintage. Vintage means it's old, it's been around for a long time. But it's just becoming more popular with the mainstream. It's all about sustainability, less fast fashion, more sustainable fashion, more reduce, reuse, recycle, upcycle, you know, like cyclical and, you know, give it new life, repurposing, all that kind of stuff. And that's a direction that I think we are going in, and I love that that's a trend. You know, I love shopping pre-owned. I like to buy my, you know, I definitely am picky when it comes to resale and pre-owned. I like my stuff to be very close to new condition, and that's just because like I'm just a little bit OCD. And that's all there is to it. But there are so many people that will go to flea markets and like vintage stores and just like go through all those racks and pick up all these great finds and rock them and make them fashionable. And what I would love to see actually is that vibe come back, where it's just like complete vintage fashion vibes. And I'm not just talking about the actual act of buying pre-owned and vintage, just like when I think real vintage, when I think of those vintage stores with like, you know, that actually smell like, you know, they smell a little grungy. They got the like leather cowboy boots all over the place. But that vibe to me reminds me of like the 70s era, which, you know, I wasn't around for. But I wish that that era would come back in every way, including like no social media and stuff like that. Even though here I am all over social media all the time. But it just gives you the good feels, the good vibes, a time of like happiness and fun and carefree and like less BS from everyone in the world. Like, think Dazed and Confused. Maybe that's not a good example. Oh my gosh, how off topic can I go? But anyways, it's just, not just in the luxury world with, you know, buying pre-owned, because, you know, nobody's going to give away a Chanel purse that they don't want anymore. Most people are going to resell it and repurpose it, right? So that's always been a thing. But I just think that people are just really moving in that direction of sustainability, really looking to the pre-owned market before even shopping, especially people are more conscious of fast fashion brands. I know people are always looking for affordable options. So, you know, fast fashion is always kind of gonna be there, but there's other options, and it's good to know, and it's good to educate ourselves, because I think ultimately small changes along the way make one big large change. That is the goal, making big changes. And if we all make little changes, that will make one hell of a big change. So there you have it. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I loved making it for you. I love having you guys here. And I really appreciate, by the way, all the people that watched my recent vlog. You know, my vlogs never get views. They don't get a lot of views, but I gotta tell you, for the people that really do watch, I know that you guys get me, and I love that. I cannot tell you how that makes me feel. You know, I know I do these sit-down videos a lot, and I love doing them, but I also love vlogging and bringing you guys into my real life, my daily life, what I do. And I really, really appreciate all the people that take the time to watch those and comment, because I read all of those comments and I try to respond to as many as possible. We are so much alike. I love that. I love that I can talk to you guys. It just honestly feels amazing. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for being here. I love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. I cannot wait to see you. Until next time, bye for now.